which rolls right into our next topic, which is link baiting and link building, which they have different perspectives on how they build links and whatnot for their blogs. I want to start out with Rob on this one because obviously he's had a very successful run as a business blogger, attracting a lot of inbound links, which elevates your rankings in PageRank and Google Search and so on and so forth. So take us through a little bit of the philosophy that you practiced on link baiting and attracting people to your blog.
So I'm sort of a person by nature who's a little bit controversial. I think if I haven't thought about something, I pretty much don't have an opinion on it. But if I have thought about something, I usually have a very strong opinion. So one of the things I would say is if you want to bait people to get links, take a stance on something. Don't be afraid to be controversial. You're going to get hate mail. It's going to suck. People are going to call you stupid. People are going to call you all sorts of dirty words. That's okay. And my most popular post ever was called How to Network for Introverts, and it actually came out of, where's Ben Thomas? I had lunch with Ben Thomas one day, and we were talking, he's here, but we were talking about this issue, and I just went home and I thought, there are a lot of people like me that are relatively, I'm not shy, but I'm introverted, right? I prefer to spend a lot of time alone, and so I wrote about how to network for that, and a lot of people, it resonated with a lot of people. So that's one way to do link bait, right? Personal experience, things that other people can relate to. But one of the other things is to be controversial. Like I said before, one of the most popular business books of all time is Good to Great by Jim Collins. And I wrote one of 2 negative reviews that has ever been done on that book. And what happened was one of the companies profiled in that book is Circuit City. I knew a guy that worked there during the time they supposedly went good to great. And he basically said, this is a bunch of BS, right? I was consulting with them. I don't know how they ever went to good to great. They were all screwed up inside. So I started digging into the footnotes and the research and spent a lot of time looking at it. And I basically said, Jim Collins didn't know what the hell he was doing. His research is invalid. And I blogged about that. And I mean, that sent 2,000 people a month to my blog 2 years after I did it. It got picked up. It was on the Wikipedia page for Good to Great. It's on the front page of Google search results for Good to Great. I've got a tremendous amount of hate mail about that post, but nobody's ever questioned my underlying arguments. So, you know, but being controversial, taking a stance can be a good thing, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Chris,
definitely.
Link baiting, building links.
I think for me, building links is all about, building links, the process of getting people to link back to your content because they like it, is all about being genuine and being transparent and being very forthright about whatever it is you're trying to tell your audience. And one of the things that I've learned, certainly in the last 3 years, is that people have great crap filters. They can tell if you're, not telling them the whole story. They can tell if you're not genuine. They can see through a lot of subversive tactics that you might use. And by the same token, they can also tell when you are being genuine and when you're giving a solid message and offering a good product or something, whatever it is you're doing. And so I would just say, I'm cognizant of that, and I think that people who, write that way or put content out like that, those are the people I see having the most success. People that are just, very much tell it like it is.
Does anybody read Deuce? Deuce? Anybody read Deuce? So Deuce is one of the most popular blogs on the web, and it's really just a girl's personal blog, pretty much. But she's very transparent about what happens in her life and what she's feeling and what she's struggling with and what she likes, and so it's been very successful as a result, I think.
People are connecting and emoting with her
yes.
Right and left.
About links and traffic, not a lot of my projects are really looking for huge national audience and stuff. My stuff tends to be really focused, kind of like Consuming Louisville is obviously mostly just for people in Louisville. So I'm really looking to make connections with people. So I respond to comments, respond to emails, I leave comments on other blogs and stuff. I don't try to do any kind of real link baiting or really kind of big traffic measures because I find that A, it doesn't work for my style of stuff, and B, it doesn't help my audience. I had one thing I posted on Consuming Louisville that got dug that gave me a huge spike in traffic, but it was really negative traffic. It was about a photographer that did a really interesting calendar of female mechanics across the country, and after it was dug, a whole bunch of really, frat boy kind of guys, took it and ran with it and just, made really sexist comments and really stuff like that. So kind of the general link bait digs, that kind of stuff, just doesn't work for my sites. nor does it give the kind of traffic I want to bring to my site. So yeah, there are a lot of things you can do to just bring general traffic, but sometimes it's not the traffic you want. So that needs to be kind of go into your thinking as well. Yeah, if I get 2,000 hits on this, that's okay, that's great. But are those 2,000 people that we really want? Are these the kind of people that we want commenting on it and that we want involved in this conversation? So that's something to think about as well when you're trying to build traffic.
And to add to that, I would also say, and she kind of touched on a little bit of what I've done to kind of build my blog to where it is now, commenting on other blogs, going out and I'm in the social media niche. It's a very targeted, very specific niche. And what I've done is I've gone out to, and I think Sean Morton actually pointed it out. Where's Smorty? Smorty's back there. In an email, internal email with about 4 or 5 of us, he pointed out that I would hump the list of any A-list blogger in the room, which is probably true, because what I've done to network and grow my audience is I've gone to the influencers. I've gone to the people who have large audiences, and I've introduced myself. I've made sure they knew who I was. I've made sure that they knew what I blogged about and what my blog address was. I've gone to their blogs and I've commented on posts repeatedly, day after day after day, so that they know that I am an avid reader of their blog, and they know that when they say, I think X about a certain social media tool, or I think this about a certain ethical concern, I'm probably going to take it and run with it and blog about it, and I'm going to be one of the people they sneeze on. I'm going to turn around and spread what they said to other people. And so what that did is, and actually Rob made a comment to me back in, I think it was September or October, shortly after I started Social Media Explorer. I said, my blog, I don't get a lot of traffic. I don't have a lot of subscribers yet. And he said, dude, Jeremiah Oyang is commenting on your blog. You've hit it out of the park already. Jeremiah is one of the top web strategists, social media bloggers in the world, and he's commenting on my blog on a regular basis. And so what I did is I reached out to those influencers within my vertical and tried to make sure they knew who I was and what I was doing. So as you start blogs for clients or your business and whatnot, it's important for you to know and understand who the bloggers are in that vertical, in that category, in that niche. Reach out to them. Go comment on their blogs. Network online with them. And then, like I did, network offline with them. If you go to a convention and you know they're going to be there, walk up and introduce yourself. Hand them a card. They're probably going to know who you are, although the first time I met Oyang, he didn't know who I was, which pissed me off. But he knows who I am now because I've pestered him about not knowing who I was. But that's another way. Networking offline can also help you network online as well.
But if I can just throw one thing in there. When you start doing this, when you're looking at blogs that you want to, if you want to meet these people and you want to interact with them, have something interesting to add to the conversation. Don't just comment because it'll get your name and a link to your blog out there. Be an active participant in the conversation. Actually read what they've said, digest it. If you agree with them, it's fine to say, I agree with you, whatever. If you disagree, that's okay too. Just add something to the conversation to, don't just be the echo chamber like Rob says. Just be an active participant. And then frequency, if you comment once and then go away, they're not going to pay any attention. But if you come back and you comment frequently, then they're going to know you, kind of know who you are. Like same thing, a lot of people get so much email, if you just randomly email, they're not going to respond. They don't have time to pay attention. But if you become an active commenter, they're going to get to know you and you're going to start building a relationship. And I found that's the most beneficial thing online. When you comment and email stuff, you start building relationships with people. You're actually having conversations instead of just kind of throwing something out into the ether.